I can remember when I was about 10 or 12, taking like half a dozen of us, so we'd take a football with some sandwiches and a bottle of lemonade over Victoria Park in the summer at 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night, and we'd be over there all day playing football and, you know, climbing trees and even diving in the canal and things like that, all the sorts of things, getting birds' eggs and all the things we shouldn't have been doing, really. And that's another area of the Fish Island, is the promenade, which is now called the Greenaway. That's as a young boy, we all used to venture down there, and you not only me, but older people all used to go down there to do all the things that they shouldn't be doing, like whippet racing and dog racing and gambling and riding motorbikes and all things like that, you know. It was an oasis, because it's the northern outfall, never been grown, nothing's ever been built on it. As that's why it's like it is now. I mean, it's being used for the Olympics now, and they've cleaned it all up and made it quite a nice park area. But it was a mystery, sort of a nowhere land. But people used to flock there if they wanted to get up to the things that they shouldn't get up to. What kind of teenager was I? I wasn't a Larry teenager. I was a mod, not a rocker. It was the mods and rockers era in the, born 1940, in the 60s, is the teddy boy area, you know, with the drain pipe suit and the big crepe sole shoes and the bootleg tie. And but no, I wasn't, you know, out ganging it and things like that. But I used to play a lot of football, and most of the boys I grew up with, we played football. So I suppose we met in the pubs when I was about 17, 18. Not so much about drinking, but, you know, because the football team was running the pub, you know, and we met like that. And he's courting. I went into the pictures and things like that, and still went to Eton Manor Sports Club. You know, you play table tennis, you could play cricket, you know, and the place over Cadogan Terrace was open of an evening, even in the winter. You could go there, play snooker and things like that. No, it was quite good. I mean, they talk about the postcode lottery now the kids have got. I always remember there's a little arch down the bottom of this turning called Tom Thumb's Arch. I don't know if you come through it when you go up to the station. I lived this side of Tom Thumb's Arch. It was very treacherous to go that side when you was young, because you might get in a barney with the kids there. And that's a famous story. When I was a younger, there was an off licence that side of the arch that used to sell beer on draft in an off licence. And my mum used to send me up there with a jug to get me dad's beer. And the kids chased me back, and I dropped the jug with his beer in under the arch and smashed it and lost all his beer. And I got a clip and sent to bed when I got home. Yeah, but it was that kind of turf wars, but it was nothing stabbing or that violent, or, you know, you was going to get killed or you was going to get seriously hurt. But there was a bit of tension. And like, there's always been a tension about Bow E3, before we had the postcode that we got now, is a funny area, because Bow Road itself splits Bow E3 up. There's a lot of Bow E3 over that side of Bow Road. And yet, we know Bow E3 for this side, like from the park to Bow Road, there's Bow E3 before you get to Bethnal Green. So even though you never went that side of Bow Road too much, you never mixed that side of Bow Road. You seem to keep in this area in Victoria Park. Never went too much in Hackney either. And Fish Island was part of the Bow community. It was full of housing. The bombed houses were replaced with prefabs, and it's surrounded by plenty of work. So anyone who lived there had plenty of work to go to and plenty of jobs. If they got the sack from one, they could go. There was all sorts of jobs around there. Dirty jobs. There was all industrial jobs, smoky chimneys and factories and things like that. But it was a community. It's only the motorway coming through there and they knocked the rest of the houses down then, and it ended up like just an industrial site completely. But yeah, as a kid, there was a school round there were shops round there, and there was all this industrial work round there, and there was plenty of homes round there. When we talk about around Candy Street and going round the back here, there were some lovely pubs round there. There was a pub called the Clay Hall. That was a lovely pub, had live music in it. And next to that was another bus garage where all the number 8 buses used to come out. And that's where we used to do our courting round there, because that was a place that the buses was left out in an open yard of a night. So if you got yourself a young lady and you wanted to go somewhere quiet, you'd creep round there and get on one of the buses and go upstairs and do your bit of courting. That was a magical place round there, and that went round the back of Brighton Maze, which you can still walk round the back there now. But they've split it because the motorway went right through there and knocked all them houses down. And then the other side, you had the Permanite, a big asphalting firm that had clouds of black smoke coming out there night and day, where they used to make felt, roofing felt, and they used to make blocks of asphalt. And there was a load of little terraced houses all the way round there and all, which they knocked down to make way for the motorway, and about 3 or 4 pubs around there. Just past the pub, in that bit of Candy Street, where the doctor's surgery's round there, that was a clinic. And that's where, when we was all kids, when you never had the right food, I always had boils and carbuncles and things like that. That's where my mum used to take me to have me boils dressed and have the kaolin poultice put on them so they could press the guts out, you know. It was painful. Well, most kids used to go there. There was a clinic there, and where you went when you had nits in your head and things like that, and they'd wash your head and they'd dab them all with Jensen and Violet. You come out there looking like you had some bad disease. But there's a clinic there. There's still a door there, and it's all part of the doctor's surgery. I can remember my mum in a pushchair when I'm about 10 years old, pushing me round there because I've got a great big poison knee, where you never had enough greens, you never had enough fruit, because they couldn't buy fruit, could they, just after the war? You know, I don't think I'll see a banana till about 1950, or something like that, or anything like that. But that clinic door is still there. I can remember going up the stairs of that clinic,